name is Deepak Chinnam. I am the head of cross-platform services in WPP, where I look after QA, data, service desk, and service management platforms. And the biggest team that I run there is the QA one. If you actually go to a product company, the software quality means so much different to a services company. So when I was in services company, I've actually seen this as a necessary evil, because being a developer, whatever you do never fails, right? So, these testing guys, they're there to find things. No. So the mindset actually changes depending on who you speak to. And if you're actually in BT, for example, right? When we are working, we are constantly have to think about the end user experience. So for us, the software quality is very much linked to how the end user is able to use the system. Is that exactly how they felt, or the intuitively felt that they were using it, right? So even if you have zero defects, but it was like a rocket science for them to deal with it, then our software quality is not what it meant to be. So one of the key aspects for us is really understanding the end user experience and using that to drive our software quality. For me, it's a fine balance. In the end, if you could see, the common thread there is it working as it is intended for the people that we are delivering that software to? I actually divide it into the people who are defining what, and there are people who are doing the how, right? So the people who actually have to define what has to be done, or the people who has to have that cross-functional knowledge, the wider knowledge, how does this particular program or the project is fitting into the bigger delivery, that bigger services that your project or your company or your program are delivering to, right? So for that, you actually need to understand the wider picture. So you should have the wider knowledge of, let's say you're working on a system A, how does it link to system B and system C, where even though your system that you're working on is not a direct has interface with the users, how it kind of feeds into the systems that are going into the user interface, and actually driving that experiences, that acceptance criteria back into the system can only be done by the cross-functional guys, right? Because these are the people who understand the wider estate. They are really good in business, and in fact they bring something that no one else can bring. Now, the second part of this is when you have the how part, right? The architects are really good on defining, hey, this is what we want, and somebody has to say, yeah, that's good, but for this to really work, we have to use this particular tool. We have to think of our strategy should use this particular tool to go and automate, and this automate should be codeless, whereas this percentage of thing cannot be automated. This person we have to do manually, and you need people who understand XYZ to do that, right? So that's where you need the specialist. So the focus that I have is we are kind of building teams which will have most of our cross-functional guys on the early phases. These are the ones who are architecting the quality journey, and then I have the guys who go deep, who actually make those things happen, especially when we are thinking about automation first, right? These QA guys, the cross-functional guys, they know it has to be automated. They know they want to automate, but they don't know how. And that's when they bring the people, the guys who can go deep in and make that a reality. It's almost like an analogy of, in building, you have architects who do the blueprint, but then you need a builder who can actually build it. And within that, you need an electrician who has to focus on electrical. So very similar to that here as well, right? So if you have a performance testing to be done, you bring a person who understands the performance really well, has got a good grasp of the various tools that we have and how to test it, how many levels, what level of load that you need to put on the system, what is that? So they'll ask a different set of questions. Similarly, you have a security guy, they will have a completely different question. So the project actually needs both of them, and for me, both of them are like two eyes. I can't pick a right or left eye as more important. Both are needed.